Hey yo, this is another Tuesday toy photography tutorial.
But it's Wednesday, my dude.
Today we're gonna go over this figure photo shoot I did with Boba Fett. I got 3 quick tips. Let's jump in. So our first quick tip has to do with lighting. It's soft light versus hard light. I for sure want to do a whole video over this, but for now, we're just gonna do a short version. The overall tip is to just be aware of your light and how do you want it to shine and show. 2 factors that play into soft light and hard light are gonna be the size of your light and the distance from your light source to the subject. So for this, I'm gonna turn off my big video light. So it might get kind of dark. And so here, we're gonna have this little lume cube light. So it's a small light. This lume cube is really cool because it has a lot of different accessories that you can add on and diffuse or change the color of the light. But for this example, we're just gonna blast the light full strength. One thing right off the bat is look at the shadow. Here we have the little lume cube light right next to our subject. And so there's no diffusion or anything on the light. It's just boom, hard light on him. So like here you can clearly see where the light and the shadow are separated. Maybe you want this look. It's not wrong, but maybe you don't. So then what's soft light? So for a lot of my recent shoots, I've really been liking using this big light because of how soft it is. And so it's not just that it's a strong light, but it has this giant softbox on it that softens it. What the softbox does is it changes the source of the light. So it's no longer the little powerful machine box, it's hitting the diffusion. And so this giant circle softbox becomes the source. So I have this huge source and it's pretty close to Boba. So it's gonna make some soft light. This is the same angle as our lume cube light. It's just bigger, a little stronger, but it's softer. So you can see how there's no shadow. Like there's no shadow over here. And you can see that, like we know that this side is more lit and this side is darker, but it's not a clearly defined line of light and shadow. So this is a soft light look. I think it's easier to edit a cleaner image like this and kind of make it your own. So do you have to have this super bright light and a super giant softbox to make soft light? No, some techniques I've seen is like shining it through like a bed sheet or like a thin piece of paper that makes your little light like as big as what you're shining it through for the most part. I got this like thin stuff that came in like in a package, like light will go through this and it's gonna soften it. And it's huge, so I can make this really big or just like a little piece and it's gonna make it a little softer than your regular light shining on your subject. Another way is bouncing light. Like you can bounce the light to this and then you point like a white paper. This is a cheap poster board. And so you can bounce the light and aim it at your subject. Boom, and that's gonna be a lot softer. This is very useful like in the harsh sun. Like boom, put the sun behind them, reflect the sun off of this, boom, shining on them. Nice soft lights. Another real example outside is on a cloudy day. When it's just the sun shining on your subject, that's hard light. When it's a cloudy day, the clouds are like a giant softbox softening the light, and so it looks nice on your subject. And this definitely applies to figures too. Another quick tip is manual focus and autofocus. The camera that I use is the Canon R6 and it has insane autofocus. Like right now, I think it's focusing on my eyes automatically. And so for this, I do use autofocus. But when it comes to shooting figures, because they're smaller and you might want to focus on little things, autofocus might miss some of the time. I mentioned this pretty quickly in a previous video. Normally when you're shooting a person or a creature, you want to focus on their eyes. Like the whole image can be blurry, but if their eyes are in focus, it looks pretty good. Or in this case, their visor. If I like autofocus and put the square or pinpoint on him and it's his visor, it's so small that it might get like his shoulder pad or his chest or like something, or the rangefinder up top, it might not get exactly what I want. And yeah, it might work 3 out of 5 times, but by using manual focus, you're able to get exactly what you want all the time. So real quick, using my phone, boom, your camera has the magnifying ability. You're able to really lock in, like mine can go up to 10 times. And so I can really see like what I want to focus on. So like I'm controlling it here and I get it exactly. I look a little weird on this camera phone, but I get it exactly how I want it. So hopefully your camera has a magnifying tool. Try out the manual focus. And so our last quick tip is to practice. And if you're just trying to learn your camera or your phone or learn about lighting or whatever, don't worry about the story. Don't worry about like what your image is about. Like just put it next to a wall or whatever and shoot. Like do these figure photo shoots where you're just taking pictures of them without telling a story. I mean, if it tells a story, that's a bonus, but do the figure photo shoots, just shoot it and then change the settings and then shoot it and then change the lighting some and then shoot it and then change his pose and then shoot it. So we're lucky to not only have digital cameras now, but cameras in our phones. So we can take as many pictures with the worst or best settings as we want and experiment with different things. So go out and shoot a figure and practice some of these things. Create and inspire. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.